Hey guys, what's going on? This is going to be a quick video. I just wanted to talk about the power of real estate and how it is so phenomenal when it comes to building wealth. If you have under $1 million net worth, real estate is by far, in my opinion, the best way to grow your wealth. You can get into a property for maybe $10, $15, $20, maybe $30,000 depending on the type of loan program you do and the market that you're in. And then you can leverage that money to be able to earn $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 on just one property. The cool thing about this as well is that over time, your property is going to go up in value, your rents will go up in value, and you're going to continue paying down that loan. In fact, in most cases, if it's a rental property, you're not even going to be the one paying down the loan. This is really cool because you get all the benefits of owning real estate and you can get into the property for an extremely low amount, relatively speaking. You get the power of appreciation, you get depreciation, which is a tax benefit, you get the interest write-off, which is a tax benefit, you get property rents going up, you get the pay down on the loan, which your tenant is paying for, and you get the ability to leverage at a very high amount. The thing that I want to show you here in this video is how I was able to increase my net worth by over $102,000 in just the past 3 months. Here in my market, real estate prices have jumped up very significantly over just the past couple of months. What I'm going to show you here today is not just me bragging about my situation. I really want to use it as an indicator and to basically show you guys what the power of real estate actually is, especially as you continue to acquire more and more properties. As you build up your net worth and as you're able to compound those gains, your net worth is going to increase very rapidly and it's going to go up exponentially, right? I would never have been able to get $102,000 in equity in just 3 months if I only had one house or maybe 2 houses or 3 houses. You have to have a higher number, and this is why I believe that you should try and purchase as much as you can as early as you can. So without further ado, let's just jump into my computer here and take a look at these numbers. Okay guys, so what you're going to see here on the screen is I've got my 6 different real estate properties, which makes up just over 11 units of rental real estate. And you can see that the principal that I owe on these different properties varies. I've got $97,000 here, $323, $216, $226, $282, and $487. This does include my own personal home, and I'm including that here because I do actually rent out that property. And so I do think that it's kind of an investment for me. Although I do live there with my family, it is an investment as well, and I consider that in my own net worth. You know, I know some people like to exclude that, but for me, you know, this is not a forever home. This is a home that I view as an investment personally. So that's why I've got it included here. Now, principal owed and current value, you can see that these numbers here. So on my very first rental property that I bought, which I still own today, $97,000 is about roughly how much I owe. And this is the information from December of 2020, just by the way, I gotta point that out here. So the current value at that time was roughly $236,000, which gave me equity position of $139,000. This is not taking into account any selling fees or taxes or transfer fees for HOA or anything like that that I'm gonna have if I did decide to sell it. So I'm not including that here, so this is just kind of my gross net worth numbers. So on this property, you can see it was equity is $139,000, $116 on this one, $74, $68, $92, and $118 here. I believe for this month, this gave me a rough loan to value of, I think it's actually here in this column. I actually X'd this out so I can actually put this back here. This gave me a total loan to value on my properties of roughly 72.84%. This is actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. I would like to see it in the 60s, which is where it's at now. And I would like to kind of keep it in there because I don't want to become over leveraged on this real estate. So adding all these numbers up, you can see that my total equity in the properties was just over $608,000 here. Now let's jump over to March of 2021. I just updated these numbers and this is what we're looking at here today. So here you can see principal owed. It's the same exact spreadsheet. Let me go ahead and open up this so you guys can see that. So total loan to value is now down to 69.5%, which is where I like it. I would like to see it in the mid 60s, but we'll get there, right? We'll see the values keep going up. So we will get there. These numbers here you can see have increased pretty significantly. I paid down the loans roughly $10,000 worth, right? This number is $1.622 million in debt, which is kind of crazy. I'm a millionaire in debt, right? That's kind of cool. So I did pay down the principal by over $10,000, and the current value went up to $2.333 million from $2.241 million. So this change in equity is up to $710,000. This is just in 3 months due to the massive increases in the value of the property here. This is based off my own comparisons. Being a real estate agent, I basically just pulled up the values of these homes and said, hey, what would they sell for if I were to list them right now? So $710,000. We'll just say that this is my personal home, 145 there. So I did include a number there for excluding my personal home. It brings it down to 565. So I did just add that in there just for myself to mentally keep notes of where that's at. So with all that being said, I mean, this is really kind of the power of real estate, right? If I only had this one property and, you know, this is what I was looking at here. Let's just look at this very first one. Okay, so the point that I really want to make here is that you can see that by having numerous properties, you're able to increase your net worth significantly by owning multiple properties, because you get the leverage going beyond just having one property. You get to leverage 5 properties, 6 properties, 10 properties, or more, right? So this is really where the power comes in. If we take a look at this one here, this very first property, I had a principal owed of $97,000, current value $236, so roughly $139,000 of equity. Now, if I only had that one property, given that those 3 months, this would have gone up to $152, which is still not bad. That's only $13,000 gain. However, I was able to get up to $102,000 gain because of all of the different properties that I owned. Now, again, this is not just me bragging. This is just saying, look, this is the power that you get when you own multiple properties. So if you're just getting started, if you only own one property, maybe you only own 2, hopefully this is motivation for you to keep going and to keep buying real estate, because as you continue to accrue more and more property, you're going to see these numbers go up even more. If I can buy 1 or 2 more investment properties this year, who knows, I could probably get to $1 million of equity within the next 12 to 18 months just from market appreciation and continuing to slowly pay down this principal, which is actually paid for by my tenants, which is actually really pretty cool. So I'm not even the one paying down this debt. The tenants are paying down that debt for me. Okay guys, so with all that being said, I hope this is kind of a good example for why real estate is so powerful and why I think you should invest in real estate. If you're just getting started and you've got $10, $20, $30, $50,000, real estate is definitely the way to go and definitely the way to invest your money, because you can get massive gains just like I showed you here on the screen. Maybe you've got a net worth that's $300,000, $500,000. It's probably still makes sense to still invest in real estate at this point, and because you can scale up real estate as high as you want to go. Many of the wealthiest people in the world own large amounts of real estate because it is such a powerful tool. Now that being said, once you do get up to those levels of like $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 net worth, I do think it's pretty smart, at least in my own opinion, right? This is just my perspective. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion on what I think you should do based on kind of net worth asset levels and what I've done personally and what I've seen actually get me the biggest gains, right? So this is just my own perspective and opinion. I think that once you get to those $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 net worth numbers, even if a lot of it is tied up in property, you know, it's not necessarily like just cash in the bank or whatever, I do think that you should start putting money into the stock market, because you're going to be able to get bigger gains as you continue to grow your wealth over there. As you get in the stock market, it's hard to make, you know, let's say if you got 100,000 in the market, you make 10% return. Cool, you just made $10,000. That's really good. Well, I just made $10,000 by having my tenants pay down all of my loans over the last 3 months, right? That was much easier to do. However, in the stock market, once you get up to 500,000 or let's say $1 million in the market, if you make 10% off $1 million, you just made $100,000. You know, if you can do that over a couple months, that's a really, really, really good return. So that's why the stock market does get more powerful once you've got larger amounts in the market. So with all that being said, guys, this is just hopefully an example of why real estate is so powerful. The stock market's great, but I think that most people should start with real estate because it is going to be the better investment class for you. Even if real estate markets in your area, even if the real estate prices in your area are at all-time highs, I still think this is the route to go, because there's just so many crazy benefits that we already talked about here in the video. So we'll just say that. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. Give me a thumbs up here on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.